Street cred sports. Street cred sports. I'm crossing over. I'm Euro stepping.
Hello, this is Keenan in Street Cred Sports Training, and welcome to another episode of Time to Ball. Man, it must be early. I can't even talk.
Hey,
My
early
guy.
enough. Early
My
enough.
guy. What's up, man? How you doing?
Man, I'm good, man. By the way, Lee Williams.
That's gonna be his thing now. And I listened to the podcast. By the way, this is episode 106. My apologies. It must be too early for me. I don't even know what the hell I'm doing. But it's episode 106. I listened to the podcast. I'm not one that likes to listen to myself, but I listened to it while I was at the gym working out. Yeah, it don't look like it, but your boy's been in there. And there's like, when I say like a crevice of definition, there's like a crevice of definition. Even the wife was like, "Oh, okay, yeah, I feel it. Why don't you go out there and pick up those chairs for me?" But I was listening to it, and when we came on with Lee Williams, and I just busted, I laughed so hard, the people in the gym kind of looked at me, and I felt bad because I didn't mean to laugh that hard.
Right.
But I just remembered in my picture. And one of these days, I'm going to go ahead, when you do that, I'm going to screenshot it and put it side by side like the Love Island guys where they say their name. Kendall. Lee Williams.
Hey, man. Hey, just organically happy, y'all. That's what it is.
So what's up, man? How you been?
Man, good, man. Just, really getting into our schedule on the basketball side, but also, trying to really announcement soon. We're on a different circuit, an elite circuit, invite-only circuit.
Okay.
So we're pretty excited about that.
Yeah.
We'll be announcing that here pretty soon.
Okay.
And so definitely, I got the call last week, or this week, I should say. And so it's looking real good.
Nice,
Man. I'm real happy about that.
I'm excited to find out, but I probably know before y'all will.
Absolutely. For sure.
I might know in the next hour, and then I don't want, because then I'll be trying to not say anything, and I don't want to accidentally let that shit slip.
You get the preview before the preview, for sure.
All right, man. So let's go ahead and delve. We got quite a few topics, so
absolutely.
Let's delve into what we're looking at.
Yes, sir.
Things that interest us. I wasn't going to, but I decided to after the game last night. Penn State, man, shaking my head. Like, they have not won or beaten a substantial, ranked team when it counts forever.
I know. I feel really, really bad because I like Coach Franklin. I really do. I think he does it the right way. I think when kids leave his program, they grow up as men. He has guys in the league.
Yeah.
Michael Parsons, to be exact, just one of those guys. This is very trivial, right? So for me, I've always had a problem with them not identifying the player with the jersey, with the name on the back of the jersey. I think kids nowadays, there's a little bit of individualism,
right,
you say, that I think a program should honor and, I don't want to say hype up, but like showcase a kid.
Yeah, I mean, because it's a great deal of pride for not just the kid, but for that family.
Pride, exactly.
To see, for them to see their last name on a jersey. I don't think it does anything else beyond that. Now, when it comes to jersey sales and stuff, that's some other stuff. But I think, who wouldn't want their last name to be on there? And if there's a highlight and you see them tackling, or if they're talking, you see their last name on the jersey.
And for the average fan may say, what's the big deal?
Right.
We're talking NIL.
Yeah.
It's
a big deal.
Like, we can't see your face, so all they can do is identify with your name.
Right.
Obviously, Penn State being one of the most historical programs, I just think, and I say that because I think they would get more recruits. If that makes sense.
Because there are schools that put the names on the back.
For sure.
You know,
Yeah.
and so you do want to, and I get, you know, the old timers say, well, it's not about the name on the back of the jersey, it's about the name on the front. It's about we're a whole team. But yeah, you don't call those players by their number when you're practicing and talking to them.
Exactly.
You call them by their name.
Exactly.
So put their name on the back, and you know, I don't see it hurting anything. It's gonna enhance stuff. In my honest opinion. But I agree with you. I do want to touch on something when it comes to something you said. He does it the right way, and I love that. But my question is, if he does it the right way and he doesn't win, do they move on? Because we say all the time it's about sportsmanship. It's about, you know, all of these great things that we should live by, setting a great example for the kids coming up to be better people. Mm-hmm. But then when they're not winning, we fire him. Even though he might have the highest success rate of kids graduating and being productive, that's kind of what we want. But then we turn around and he's gonna be fired. Not he's going to be, but they usually fire him because they're not winning.
Yeah, you know, and the crazy part is, it's not that he's not winning; he's not beating certain teams. It's valid.
Right.
It's very valid. However, you said this a couple weeks back regarding to Texas. Like, their expectations are way too high.
Yeah.
You know, they walk around like they've won
But Penn State has won in the past.
Oh, absolutely.
That's the difference between them. Penn State, their brand, they've won, you know, national championship. Now, it was a lot of it. It was before the Final Four and before, like, the new age with the systems.
Right.
A lot of that was back in the way they used to. But I would say since the 80s, or maybe even the 90s. Yeah. They've won maybe one or two. I'd have to look it up to see like how many they've won, but you know, they've at least won. We know that we could tie a couple of championships with them.
True.
But and to your point, when you say, you know, they've beaten good teams, the problem is those wins that they haven't had hasn't equated to a national championship. Now, he did find success this past year in the playoffs, get into the semifinals, right? Mm-hmm. Which was unexpected. And then, but the crazy thing is, oh, well, you know, he was in this bracket and that bracket had an easier time. Like, but y'all put everybody in the bracket the way y'all put them.
But you can't get blown out.
Right.
You just can't get blown out in that space. And I really feel that the pressure has really gotten to him.
Yeah.
And he just has folded. I don't want to say folded. He has come up short.
Yeah.
In those circumstances. But like, it's crazy because he checks every box.
Yeah, he does.
He checks all the boxes. They just not have gotten over that hump, man.
Now, I feel that he should. I know why he went to Penn State, but I felt he should have stayed at Vanderbilt because they were starting to ascend. Here's the thing: longevity. He could stay there forever. He's not expected to win, but he's going to have them really good in the conversation every year. He could write his own ticket.
You're never on the hot seat.
You're never on the hot seat. Vanderbilt has really started to come up this year, last 2 years, with the kid that was at New Mexico State, Pavia, I think his name is. Pavia. I'm sorry. Pavia. And, you know, he actually started some stuff with the NCAA that was really big as well.
Huge.
We should talk about that as well. I just looked it up. The national championship, their last national championship.
96.
86. It was 82 and 86. Those were the names. Yeah, I thought they had one in the 90s. Now, they had an undefeated season in 94, but they didn't. They chose not to claim championships from years where the consensus recognition was not achieved. Like, All of that stuff back then was just, it was weird how.
I thought they got their record wiped because of
I know that happened, but yeah, okay. So I have to maybe dive a little deeper in that, but so all in all, you know, I don't want to say I don't have faith. I'm just not going, like, as a point where I just say, yeah, I'm not going to expect anything from, you know, what he's gotten. I'm not saying I can't see him winning it. I just don't expect that he's going to get there at any point, because you're at home. You're 3 versus 6. The call on that pass play, you know, I see what the quarterback made a horrible throw, but that's going to be attributed to him,
and
right?
The field storm was unreal.
Yeah.
Man, somebody could have got hurt.
Yeah. That's another subject we could put down there as well, because there's some stuff I saw this weekend with the storm in the field, but we'll have to talk back. We'll have to bring that, you know, back around.
Let's do that.
All right, so next subject I want to talk about, Jackson Dart takes over. He gets to start. He's going to be starting today against the Los Angeles Chargers. Was it right? Do you think it was right to bench Russ?
I don't think it's right. Look, the New York Giants, you're not going to the Super Bowl. Everyone knows that. We all know that. A lot of data is out there on when to bring a rookie quarterback in.
Right.
And typically it's 5th to 8th game, depending on circumstances, or the following year.
Yeah.
And so I don't think it was time to bench Russ. Was Russ good? Not necessarily. But there's a lot of variables to that. The line wasn't good. You know, I think he's got to do a better job of, as you always say, is get the ball out of his hands early.
Right.
Get it out of his hands early. I watched him against the Cowboys, and if that Russ Wilson could actually be half of that, I think he'd be okay.
Yeah.
I really do.
Yeah.
I just think you don't start Dart against the Chargers. The Chargers are a monster team.
Nah.
You're going to get that kid hurt.
Nah, yeah, they should have waited the next week. My issue with it was, okay, if you look at the plays, the last of the game, those 2 or 3 horrible throws in a row that Russell Wilson made was like, what the hell were you doing?
I know.
Like if you're going to bench him based on that, okay, all right. Now, the game prior, although it was against Cowboys have a bottom tier defense right now. He threw for over 450 something yards.
Yeah, man.
Now, could it be, and well, I mean, maybe someday somebody will come out and say it, but could it be that interception that he threw in overtime was an ill-advised interception, and that carried over, like, okay, we're going to put him under the hot seat after that interception. Then the next game he comes out and plays very badly, you know, and then those things kind of combine. I'm like, dog, he just threw for 450 yards. Like, why are y'all benching him? At least let him play out to the Chargers, because it's like he had one bad game.
Right.
He got on track the next game, had an excellent game. I think he led the league in passing that game.
He did.
Then the next game he had a stinker. So it's 2-1, right? So now, as you say, put him against the Chargers.
Right.
You know that's going to be like, look, man, we've had 4 game sample size. You're 1-3, and you've been horrible. And we taking the fact that the Cowboys defense is really bad. You know, that 450 might not really be 450.
Yeah, I mean, I agree to that as well. But, you know, the problem with them is Danny Dimes from the Indianapolis Colts is making them look real bad.
Yeah, he's doing
making
well.
them look really bad.
Now, it's early.
It is early, but they got a guy that's early too.
Yeah,
like
he is doing.
He is balling.
And if they make the playoffs,
that's going to be a problem.
And he does well enough to where midway or late in the season, there's MVP talk about him.
I'm firing the whole staff.
Oh Lord! Even if they, they're not gonna make playoffs, but even if they make the playoffs, you could probably get rid of them because of that.
Right.
You know.
I mean, like, you invested all that money in him, and then you chose him over Saquon Barkley.
Yeah.
And the following year, Saquon Barkley won a Super Bowl.
And then,
like,
it's like you realize your mistake, so then you let him go.
Yeah, I am no general manager by any means, but they're just piling up.
Yeah,
and it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
You know, you bring Russ in. I think Super Bowl winning quarterbacks, you know, should have that respect. At least give them a 5 to 6 game sample.
Yeah.
You know this is not your year.
Yeah, because it's number one is this is the first year there. He's got to learn your offense, learn your tendencies as a coach, what he wants. Right. You got to break your habits, things that you are used to doing in those situations. Because you can game plan and talk about it, but it's not until you actually play that it's like, hey, I know that's what you like to do, but this is what I want, or we need to compromise or something. So, they was talking about Brian Daboll about how, he's such a great coach. And I'm not disputing that he's a really good coach. I wouldn't say great. He's a really good coach. They got to the playoffs. He got them to the playoffs once. But his claim to fame seems to have been what he did with Josh Allen. But when you listen to some of the stuff people talk, the other people, he's been even more successful when the other people have had their hands on him. So how good is Daboll? And at some point, it's going to be like you are now. Well, Dart, what do you think Dart's going to do? I mean, not this game, but the rest of the season.
I just think it's too early, man. I think today's game is going to be way too fast for him.
Yeah.
Now, they're going to set him up for success. He's going to have a lot of success early because he's going to run these little short passes and get it out of his hand quick. Draws and screens,
RPO, and stuff like that.
They're going to make sure that he has a great start, but it's not going to be enough, man.
Right, and
I don't know if their running game is really good enough to hide him. If that makes sense.
Well, Skitterbo is pretty good. I like him, the kid from Arizona State.
Right, against the Chargers though.
I like that kid. That kid.
No,
that kid's watch. That kid's gonna have 1 or 2 runs that are gonna make some of them people be like, okay, this kid is for real.
I agree with you 1,000%. I saw the kid in college.
Yeah,
the kid is a man.
Yeah,
the kid is a man, but at the same time, you can't break his back either. If that's your mule, you know what I'm saying. So it's got to be some balance. I just don't think against the Chargers he's gonna have a breakout game where it could protect Dart.
Yeah, I see.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't see that, but
I like that kid though. He's tough.
Yeah,
that's a great pick.
And it's sad because the other back who had a really productive year last year, Tracy or Tarsi, I'll have to look that up, but he had 800 and something yards last year, and he was trending good. He was on that show called A Facility.
Okay.
And he was, it's like it was like First Take, and he was talking to the guys, and Dayball actually called in, and he was talking about how he was looking forward to this year and everything. Yeah. He's not getting that many. He's not getting the touches that he was last year.
But I can see
I can see why. But it's like you should be better this year because you had almost a breakout year. So what happened that they brought this kid in and now they've actually kind of put you on out there because these last 2 games with Skitterbo is like, he's about to be, if he's not already, he's about to be the lead back. So
as which he should, okay?
Yeah. No, I'm not disputing. It's just kind of crazy because I remember watching that episode and the kid was on there talking, And I was like, oh, okay, and I went back and looked at his stats, and I was like, yeah, he had a pretty productive year. And he was like, yeah, he's looking to be the guy this year. He's going to be better. Mm-hmm. And you never know who's coming behind door number 2.
Never know. But I mean, by what you're describing, I mean, he's a backup. That's a great backup, in my opinion.
Yeah, but he was I think if he wasn't the starter, he was their most productive kid, right? The running back. And all signs pointed to he was going to be the guy this year.
Yeah, no.
So
not when Skitterbo comes in.
All right, so next topic we're going to cover is the coach for the Minnesota Lynx. I'm going to let you start out with it.
Oh, man. Not to be disrespectful, I love the NBA, or the W as they call it. I have watched all year. I haven't been as consistent as I wanted to be, but it's shameful the way the game is called. It's really bad. I mean, it's worse than their second-class flights that they fly on to get to games. I mean, it's bad. From people getting slapped in the head, like 1-2 punches in the head and trying to finish and no call. I mean, it is really, really bad. And so the coach from Minnesota Lynx, I call her Coach Cheryl, but they were going to lose a game against the Phoenix Mercury. And so one of the better defenders, or I guess she's kind of a goon, she went out and stole the ball against Nafisha Collier, who's one of the better players in the league. Stole the ball, and it wasn't the fact that she stole the ball, it's the fact that she's contacting. Now Nafisha may be out.
Right.
And so, and the Minnesota Lynx were up for a championship. I mean, they were up for a championship. So I just feel like they don't protect the players.
Yeah.
It's almost like they're listening to media and reading all the tabloids and calling a game as if they've got a agenda.
Right.
It's known in every professional sport.
Yeah.
In order to protect your brand, you got to protect your players, especially your top players. You can't put them in a position where they get hurt, because obviously you're going to lose fan base, right? And so she ended up now she did go off. Yeah. She went bananas. She refused to leave the court. As she was leaving the court, a fan, said something to her, and she, gave an expletive to the fan, and an expletive, to the fan, and then she walked out. Well, she's now, and they're in the playoffs, she's now been suspended for a game.
Yeah.
I don't agree with it at all.
Nah.
I mean, what are your thoughts on it?
Now, look, first of all, you know how I feel about them fans coming in and acting crazy.
I do.
I need to get in touch with her and see if she want to be the manager at my new store. You want to be the manager, Coach Reeves? We got a spot for you. We'll let you take care of that. So I get the whole, you're not supposed to engage fans, but we're humans. If she would have said something to that fan without the fan saying anything, that fan would have said something back to her.
Right.
So we are human. So let's take that out of it. I think she used the term, excuse me, mama. She said the refs, what their calls were fucking malpractice or effing malpractice. I guess that's what I should have did instead of saying the actual word. She was upset with the call to Collier. Right. And my biggest thing is, I've never seen a coach get suspended for something like that. Definitely in the playoffs. Right. They get fined. Right. They're going to hit your pocketbooks. Yeah. But getting a suspension for a game,
way too much.
It's way too much. And too much. I do think, I agree with you. I do think that for some reason the WNBA seems to be hard to officiate with how they call the games, because I've seen games, and I'm like you, this year I haven't watched as much. I've just been preoccupied with a lot of stuff. Last year I watched a ton. This year I have not. And last year there was a game. I can't remember the game or the players. Lady goes up, make a layup. She's trying to come over to hit the ball.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Oh yeah, I know exactly.
She makes contact with her head, knocks her down. There was no. It was. I don't even think they called a foul.
There was no call.
I thought it was going to be a flagrant just by the letter of the law.
Right.
No foul. Like the second half of that game, almost the exact play happened, and it wasn't nearly as bad as that play. And the person gets a flagrant, and I'm like, well, how are y'all officiating the game? Because on the ladies' side, I've always said it's more physical on the women's side, and I always attribute that to the fact that there's a lack of athleticism. That's just my opinion of it, because, since there's not a lot of athleticism, you get players that instead of trying to go up, and make a move and finish, they don't have, a lot of them don't have that athleticism, so they jump into them, and those players, foul them hard. That's just, it's a sample size of some of the things that I've seen.
Yeah. For me, the women's games, I'm talking about the W and the NBA, the difference is, my take on it is, I don't think it's athleticism, it's just that, hey, they play above the rim,
But that's athleticism.
No, you can still be athletic and not play above the rim.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
See what I'm saying?
For me, athleticism is playing above the rim.
Okay.
All right.
So it's played above the rim, and I never thought about it ever until you just said it. It's more physical. When you first said it, I was thinking about, I never thought of it like that, but it's a fact.
Yeah.
It's a lot more physical because it's, again, played below the rim. And so these calls that are making are egregious, and you just have to, I just think they're fixated on something else. To me, the calls are so bad, it looks like an agenda.
Yeah.
It looks like the W's trying to ensure that, I don't want to name a name, but they're trying to ensure that one team wins. And so I disagree with it all. I know they're trying to protect the character of the game or whatever, what have you, but you need to get on those officials.
Yeah,
I'm like you. Call them officials out.
Yeah,
for sure.
I've always been the fact that, I know officials, if they don't do well, they're downgraded, or they're not able to be in a rotation for the playoffs, stuff like that. But I feel like officials should be done the same way, because officials have a lot of power in ejecting a player, right? And even if they turn around and rescind the ejection, the player's still gone. That player can't help their team, right? Even if it's a terrible ejection, right? So I feel like, you know what? Why don't you just eject that referee suspended for a game, or that referee's fined? Now, you can't fine the referees like you fine players because they don't make that much money. But I think that referees should be held accountable because some have this God complex when they call the game. And they're supposed to be unbiased. They're supposed to just make the calls, but you could tell. You remember the ref, what was this? I can't remember his name. And this is the NBA, who threw Tim Duncan out because he was smiling on the bench. Didn't say a word, right? And it's like, what do you mean like he was smiling? He was, no, he wasn't. You just got a little complex about yourself. He should have been suspended for 2 or 3 games, not paid or something else, or kicked out of the referees. Obviously, they're not going to do it. That's a bit harsh. But I really feel like if you started to do some things that would really, taint and hurt these referees the way you do it with the players, you should have balance. Because to me, there's no, made a terrible call. You go to the screen, you look at it, you see that it's a terrible call, but you stand on it because you don't want to be wrong, and you cost the team a game. Man, you should be suspended or something. Something should be done, but I don't think they will.
those things, when those things like that happen, the fans, the players, the coaches have no reason but to think there's a different agenda going on.
Yeah.
That you are not above board. Like, I mean, it's just what it is.
It's just weird. I almost feel like you should have the NBA refs reffing the WNBA games.
I agree with that.
You know, and
I agree with that.
And maybe bring the WNBA refs into the farm system through the G League, have them spend some time in the NBA or something.
I like that.
You know, and then bring them back. But
I like that.
Yeah, I watched some of those games and I was like, you know, some of them are really, you know, don't want to be talked to in most referees, but a lot of times you have a little back and forth. You know, you can have a conversation. But I've seen, and I don't know if this is the scene, it's just what my eyes and what my body felt when I was watching it. There was a male ref who the female player was arguing the call. And his body language and tone with how he talked to her, you know, and then the coach came and his body language and tone to the coach, who was a male coach, was completely different.
That's it.
It was completely different.
That's it.
Now, you know, it's like, yo, like who, like, and I'm thinking to myself, I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, dog, she'll bust your ass on the court.
Right.
You know, if you gonna talk noise, lace them up and get on there and watch her bust your ass on the court.
I think if you're a male ref, a male official, in the women's game in college and the W, you have to be very cognizant of that.
Yeah.
You have to be very, very cognizant of it because sometimes your body could say things that maybe your mind is not thinking.
Right.
So you have to be very, very careful with that.
Right.
The last thing I'll say on it is officials could be agitated because they talk more trash than the W.
Yeah, they do.
They talk a lot more trash.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of expletives said in those games. I'm seeing, man, there's a lot of taunting.
Yeah, you would think they would be calling a lot more technical fouls because there was a taunt yesterday.
I didn't see it.
Gosh. I was watching it while I was watching something else. Mm-hmm. But she made a basket and she was all in her face going down the court. And I love the competition, but on the NBA that's a technical for taunting. Yeah. So it should be the same. Now, before we go, I do want to make this point. The thing that is interesting is when I first started seeing women referees in the NBA, I thought it might be a problem because those players are going to not respect those females calling those games, right?
Right.
Just because, you know, so not everybody, but some men, you know, they look at it differently. But I've noticed throughout the years, like the 3 years or so or more that women have been calling the NBA, there's so much respect with how they talk to them.
Absolutely.
How the players talk to the women refs, how the women refs talk to the players. There is no, you know, machismo type stuff with how they interact.
Yes.
And I love it because I found myself being like, man, that's a terrible call. And then it was a female ref who made the call, but I didn't say, oh man, it's because it was a female. It was like, that was a terrible call, right? And that's how it should be. That was a bad call, not because it was a female ref calling it or it was a male ref call. It was just a bad call. So
I like that. And kudos and shout out to the NBA players for not being chauvinistic toward those female refs.
Yeah.
I have, that's been honorable.
Yeah.
You know, honorable.
But you know, some of it might be when they get home, their mama like, hey, boy, would you disrespecting that lady?
That's another thing.
Boy, you better not,
that's a real thing.
You better not be disrespecting her.
That's a real thing.
You know what I'm saying?
I guarantee that's a real thing, man.
I don't think it happens a lot. I think, you know.
I don't know, Kevin.
I think most
Mama's at game.
Yeah, most players are respectable young men in their own right.
For sure.
But I think that's a little extra added is, hey, don't you be talking to her like that. Boy, would you want somebody talking to me like that? No, mama. All right, you better get right.
Mamas can take care of it. I know for sure.
Yes, sir, I do too. Yeah, I'm probably gonna be told, put your ear close to the phone so I can pop you for using those bad words. I can't get up there to you, but next time you come down there, I'm gonna hug you and then I'm gonna pop you across your back. All right, so we're gonna take a quick break and then we're gonna be back with more. Okay, we're back. During the break, my mama called and said, boy.
Get him.
No, I ain't heard from her yet. I will.
It's coming.
Hey, that mama sisters might be like, I might need to call him and see what he doing.
It's coming.
All right, so we're
training.
going to get into our basketball ideology. All right, so this first thing we're going to discuss is this is stuff that, strangely enough, happened this week with me, so I want to touch on it. The first one is talking about kids dealing with pressure to win, not understanding how to deal with it. Now, the direct conversation with the parent of a player, she's 8th grade, 7th or 8th grade, no 8th grade, and she became very passive with trying to score and shoot. And I gave her the 4 reasons. If I've never went over the 4 reasons why players tend to not want to be, they don't want to shoot, is the 4 reasons that I've garnered over the years. Reason 1 is that they don't want to miss. So they don't shoot it because they're afraid to miss the shot.
All right.
Reason 2 is they're afraid to get their shot blocked, or they're afraid to have contact, get fouled or get contact going in, so they don't shoot. Reason 3 is that their coaches yell, scream, and take them out for every mistake, so they don't want to shoot because they want to stay in the game, so they'll become passive. The 4th one was one that I came up with that I added within the last year, is they want to shoot, they just don't know how to get their shot off within the confines of the offense and stuff. Those are the 4 major reasons that, players don't shoot. Well, this particular player, the problem is that she had to carry the team and win. They won, she carried them, she was the best player and she did all of that. And it was such a heavy load on her. And she's young. So she didn't know how to deal with that. And I had never thought about that, at a younger age, that could be heavy. So I talked to her about different things, and I basically told her, look, it's okay if you don't want to be that guy, right? You could just be a good player on a team and just, you do your job, whatever role that is and stuff. I said, it's okay if you don't want to be that player. I said, now, the problem is, if you're always the best player on the team, you're going to start to feel like you have to shoot when the other player who's quote unquote the best player that's going to shoot isn't panning out. Right. You might feel like you have to shoot in that instance to help the team. But it was a fascinating conversation.
Wow. The last 3 or 4 years, I have talked to players about really stop being afraid to fail.
Right.
Stop being scared of the moment. If you're, or maybe hesitant of the moment, or whatever it is, overthinking it. We had a young lady the last couple of years, is that it starts with negative thoughts of yourself. Oh man, I'm playing this team. Oh, this girl's guarding me. There's negative connotations going on, and so rarely anything positive is going to happen. And you're psyching yourself out, and you're creating that fear in yourself. Yeah. So things don't happen how they should.
Right.
So I've told her, hey man, if you play hard and you do what you're supposed to do, and you ball out, and the team fails or loses, I mean, it's what it is.
Right.
Figure out ways to do that, but just understand you're not by yourself, because you've got a coach there and you've got some other things. So, you cannot be afraid to fail.
Right.
And I see it I see a lot when an athlete knows a college coach is coming to watch and sit on their game.
Yeah.
You know, and my message to them is be you.
Yeah.
Don't be somebody you're not. The problem with athletes is they always want to show what they can't do.
Right.
You know, if you're a 2-dribble pull-up kid or a catch-and-shoot kid and they're recruiting you for that, do that.
Yeah.
Don't do anything outside of that. You know, don't try to be Kyrie Irving when you're a Steph Curry or something.
Or Klay Thompson.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. And you hit it right on the head with the failure thing. And what I have to tell players is you're going to fail. I said you have to accept failure as part as success because they go hand in hand. You can't be to your point, what I try to tell them is you have to take that shot and be just as okay with making it as you are missing it. Be okay with missing that shot because you're going to miss shots. And I've even done stuff where I'll say, okay, because if you're not going to shoot, this is how the training is going to go. And I say, pass me the ball. And they'll pass it to me. I'll pass it back to them. Have my hands here, they'll pass it. And I'll do it for like 3 or 4 reps, and they're starting to look. And I say, that's what your training is going to be. Because there's no reason for me to work with you on pull-ups, pump fakes, floaters, getting to the basket because you don't want to shoot, right? Like, I'm not going to handicap you and spend time giving you things that I know will help. I said, so what part of what I do is I give them goals, and I'll give it to them with the parents and say, okay, here's what's going to have to happen. We're going to set goals for you. How many shots a game do you take? 3. Okay, all right, so we're going to go 5. You got to take at least 5 shots a game, right? You got to, certain amount of assists or whatever it is, and let the parents track it and say, now you're going to have to come up with consequences if you don't do it. You're going to hold yourself accountable, right? And I'd say 75% of the time, they start to shoot more and stuff, right? They make shots. Man. That mentality. The other 25%, well, we don't end up keeping them because the parents start to see that they don't have it in them. And I tell them, you can't put pressure on them. I said, if they're not, wanting to do it, then you have to be okay with it. Now we have to make a decision of what that means with them coming here. I can still train them. It doesn't mean that training means that I'm always teaching you to score. I can teach you how to be the best setup person, read defenses and all of this stuff, playing wing, defender, all of that stuff. I can make you really good and great in those things, but you got to decide if that's something you're willing to do. Right. And oftentimes the players start to realize that this isn't something that's for them.
Excuse me. Speaking of the parental aspect of it, I've always advised parents, let them fail.
Yeah.
Like, stop putting out safety nets. They don't learn. You truly learn from failure.
Yeah, you have to. You absolutely have to.
So just as a parent, like, encourage, right? Encourage them to be great. And when they fail, focus on some things they did well, because it's always not all bad, right? And then, hey, what do you think you can do to get over this hump?
Yeah.
I mean, nobody laid a safety net for you. No. Did you have a safety net? Mm-mm. I didn't either. I didn't even have a net, period, right? So, hey, you follow your head, it's like you said, that stove is how you touch it. Okay, now, how can I get this pot off the stove?
Yeah.
So, parents, I know that may sound like an oxymoron, but let your kids fail.
Yeah.
They will learn from it, for sure. And then the best part is they'll no longer be afraid. There's no fear.
Right, so. Right. Okay, so we're going to move on to the next topic.
Okay.
And this topic just happened to happen during an evaluation training that I had recently. And the parent was like, well, when should they dribble, have a low dribble or a high dribble? Because, their coaches, this is like the city league coaches are telling them that they always need to dribble low. when they dribble the ball. And I explained to him, I said, you know what? That's one of the biggest misconceptions. And I hear it, not every time, but I hear it maybe once or twice a month from training with different kids that the coaches are telling them they always have to dribble low. And I said, no, it's a misconception. I said, when you're standing, if you're standing and there's no pressure, there's no reason for you to dribble below your knees. You can dribble at regular height, medium dribble. So when I'm having the kids to warm up, just to give you an example, I have them to do pound dribbles. I have them to do 20 high. So the high comes like this, where they're pounding it, the ball's going extremely high over their shoulder. The medium dribbles will come about waist high. The low dribbles should be around their kneecaps, even in a bent position, right?
Sure.
So those are the 3 heights I generally try to use. And obviously you can skew it some between low and medium or between medium and high. It just depends on the situation. And that's what I explained to the parent. If the defender is nowhere near you, you can stand and dribble regular. You're in a comfortable position. Right. If the defender is engaging, actively trying to, steal the ball and all over you, you don't want to dribble like this. You do want to dribble lower. I said, but you can't just stand there and dribble lower in front because you're still going to get the ball stolen. You have to now turn and get into what we call power position, power dribble, where you have one foot in front and you're at an angle so that player can't just reach in and have to come around. So it was like, you know what? And I remember saying, I was like, I'm going to talk about this because this isn't the first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth. This comes up a lot. And what I explained, what I said is, I don't mean this, like in a bad way, but it could be somebody who's never played, or if they've played, they didn't play the point guard position, or if they played the point guard position, they might have not played it at a high enough, level to understand that.
Man, that's disgustingly disappointing. The thing is, it's like, how foolish would you look if the team is in a 2-3 zone and I'm coming down court dribbling low? I look foolish. I look crazy.
It doesn't.
Like, you have to understand changing your posture, which changes the height of your dribble. That creates opportunities to get to the basket. If you watch anyone who's good and can handle, a guy comes up, I'm here, and all of a sudden I want to make a move, then I get into attack mode. If I'm being trapped, obviously low dribble. If I'm being trapped. If I want to split, it's a low dribble. I mean, that's just, and maybe to me it's common sense, but it's like if I'm in a fight and the person way over there, I'm not going to be doing this. Does that make sense? Like, that's the best analogy I could come up with. I mean, you're going to look crazy. Now, as they get close to me, I'm going to be ready.
I can see it. He's like 400 feet away.
I'm doing this here, bouncing around. Like, I look crazy. So, like, coaches, we got to be better. Man, we got to be better.
Yeah, I think, and again, okay, look, it might come across to some, especially if they listen to this and they're ones that are doing it as, he's hating or that's disrespectful. No, I'm being real with the fact that I get it that a lot of coaches are coaching, they're volunteering their time, they're doing an excellent job with trying to give these kids opportunities to play. I get that. But at the same time, you have to you don't build a house because you want to help somebody and not get the people who know how to build a house, get the proper tools, the proper equipment and materials and stuff. You don't just throw a house together because you're trying to do it. You get the people who know what they're doing and you make sure that it's done right. It's the same thing. I'm not even saying it has to be me, but you have to make sure that you have somebody who knows, who's really knowledgeable, because there are a lot of people who say, quote unquote, well, they were, they played or they were at college, and stuff. And they know that they weren't really good, right? They were, but I mean, it's testament. They got there, but they weren't really good as far as that. And then they want to be really, really aggressive with how they teach and talk to people, and it's not the right way. Right. You got to make sure you have somebody who knows what they're doing to be able to tell them and guide them. And I've always left my doors. I have a couple of coaches that have kids teams that they always ask me stuff in all situations, and I give them solid, good information. And they continually ask me. You know why they continually ask me? Because everything I've told them has really helped them along the way. So I don't have a problem with if a person calls me and asks me. Now, if they want me to come teach it, that's a different thing.
Of course.
But if you ask me, then it's information. It should be free. But yeah, it's nerve-wracking.
Beyond nerve-wracking, it's sickening, and I'm done with it. I'm done with everybody thinking they know basketball. I'm done with it. So, like, if you are not a player, and come on now, I'm not talking about at the YMCA with your buddies in the 30-year-old league. That's not what I'm talking about. If you are not a player, okay, understand what it is. Your responsibility is to educate yourself on the nuances of how to play this game.
Yeah.
Every position, from the post to the, I could coach a post player because I took the time to learn that.
Yeah.
Okay? So, and those of you trainers who are brand new, stop it. There's a responsibility that you have to grow the game. That's what this is about. It's not for lining your pockets or your ego. Now, for those you players who were played in college and were played overseas and things of that nature, your responsibility is you need to learn how to coach. Okay, that's your responsibility as well. So just because you were a fantastic basketball player doesn't mean you can get that level of teaching across. So your job is to understand how to do that. There's a responsibility we have as a coach. I took a lot of pride. I mean, I was not a screen, catch, shoot guy, but I took a lot of pride in learning that, and I'm able to coach any player that comes in my way, regardless of their skill level.
Yeah.
If they're just a shooter, I can coach that.
Right.
If they want to learn how to come off screens, I can coach that. If they're a ball handler trying to create issues for people and get by, I can coach that.
Right.
And it's not because I'm amazing. I worked at it.
Right.
Right. And I still have struggles to this day. I tell people all the time, if they look at me crazy, I'm not going to tell y'all what I tell them, but there's certain things about the game that I just don't feel I'm good at.
Right.
And I tell them, we really don't run that because I got to get better at it.
Right.
And that's just being...
that's being real. That's being real and honest.
So,
and anybody who tells you that they know it all, that's the person you don't want to listen to.
Right.
Because even the greatest minds are always trying to learn and evolve, right? And I'll tell you now, I'm not trying to learn from somebody that I don't feel is good, right? But as somebody who wants to learn, I am always trying to learn to get better at certain things. So yeah, you always want to be trying to learn, man. But yeah, it's a misconception. You have to understand when to dribble low. Okay. All right. Now to our favorite segment. You done lost your damn mind.
Yes, sir.
Now we're gonna start off because last week we picked the Ravens over the Lions. So we done lost our damn lost our damn minds picking the Ravens over the Lions. Hey,
what's going on?
Their defense. You associate with Pittsburgh. You associate those teams with defense. You know that they're going to be defensive minded every year, right? Yeah. The Ray Lewis and stuff. You think they're going to be always good defensively. They have not been good defensively this year. They have not been. And it's been really bad. And you think about it, it actually kind of goes back to last year towards the middle to the end of the season. There were some games where they weren't excuse me. They weren't up to the task when they needed to be up to the task.
As great as John Harbaugh is, I like the fact that he allows the players to be a player. He's a great players coach.
Yeah.
But I think there's a point where you got to step in, and just thinking that they're going to get it done is not it, because there's a lack of execution when the game is on the line.
Yeah.
You know, and it's not just Henry fumbling the ball. I mean, there is something going on there that needs to be talked about.
Yeah. Yeah.
Inside the locker room.
And I'm not saying that I won't be pulling for them, but I no longer expect them to be a title contender.
No.
You know, now, do I think they can be? Yeah, but I don't expect it anymore because I've seen a pattern these first 3 games and going into the playoffs last year, and I'm like, okay, they're not.
Something always happens.
Yeah, they're not who I thought they would be at this time.
I don't think they believe.
And I don't think they have a defensive identity. When Ray Lewis was there, they had a defensive identity.
The defense identity stuff is gone. Like they're an offensive team now.
Yeah,
that's what they are now.
But you still should have an identity on defense. Whether we're going to be aggressive in blitz, we're going to bend and not break. We're going to have excellent corners and not mid, but linebackers. You know, we're going to have a great defensive front. You can't pick to one of those points. And like even our best players are making plays that you're like, wow, like I wouldn't expect that from that player, right? So, we lost our damn mind picking the Ravens, and the Lions look a lot better than. They look really good after that first week against the Packers.
They look real
good. So we lost our damn mind. I don't even know if we want to do it no more, but we gonna stand on 10 toes and we gonna pick a game. But before we pick our game, I got called out. I post a lot of content, and I got called out on my video. And I couldn't stop laughing because the funniest thing is after I review videos, when I'm putting them up, I try to make sure I don't have blatant things like, the kid is blatantly traveling.
What'd you do, man?
I was working with a kid on showing him how to, use his shoulder and come over, kind of like what Tatum does where he comes over and finish.
Right.
So the kid's about 6'4", 6'5", right? So I'm, working with him, and he doesn't know just yet how to drop a little bit lower. So he's at a certain stance where he's low, but probably not where I would want him to be if I'm driving on somebody who's smaller, right? Gotcha. So I'm having to stand up a little taller because I'm like, well, if I go lower, he's going to I'm going to risk getting hit in the face, putting the pad up here, and it's going to look awkward. And I'm trying to talk to him. So my defensive stance and my defensive slide was horrible. And I knew it as I'm doing it because I wasn't doing it for technique. I was trying to give him an obstacle as he's doing it.
Right.
Plus,
they got on you, huh?
Plus, that was like my fourth training of the day, so I was tired.
Worn out. Yeah, for
Worn
sure.
out. But it's no excuse. I should have been in training mode, but I posted it because I was trying to, it was a stay motivated post.
Okay.
And I got called out with one of my friends, Chad Groff.
Oh, Chad called you out.
Chad like,
okay,
man, what you doing? What kind of defense is that? And stuff. And he started laughing. Then he says, I'm just messing with you. I couldn't get out there. And I started laughing. I said, the funny thing is I thought long and hard about posting it because I was saying I'm not in a traditional stance the way I should be. But I was doing the video and I had somebody of his height and I had somebody there. Now, if I'm really truly playing defense on somebody that tall, I'm going to be lower anyway, even if they're higher. But I was trying to get him to learn to bump like into the shoulder chest area with his right shoulder. So that's why I was standing up to give him a target.
Yeah.
But it was horrible, y'all. You see, look at the video. I'm posting the videos up. Watch the video, man. It's terrible.
I'm about to go find it.
Oh, you know how to find it. I'm gonna send it to you.
Hey, I'm gonna comment too.
I'm gonna send it to you because I was
sure gonna comment.
I started laughing so hard. I was like, yeah, man.
I'm sure gonna comment.
And you know what? It's funny because there are times where I'm doing trainings where I have to do something that I normally don't do, but I'm trying to get a point across. The teaching point.
Yeah.
And that's part of me learning. I mean, obviously, I just turned 53. So, you know, I mean, my Achilles bothers me sometimes. You supposed to send me something that you didn't send me while we're thinking about it. Yeah, you see him turn around like, oh shit, I forgot I was supposed to send him something. So, but
my bad.
You know, sometimes now there have been times where, and I'm trying to find that video where I needed to defend the kid up the court to show them how to move their feet and force them the way I want to force them.
Right.
And I did that, and it was textbook. So it's not that I don't know how to move my feet, man. I just was in a point where in space at that moment where I wasn't as worried about my defense technique. But that's fine. If y'all kill me on the internet, I'm a big boy. I can take it.
Get him.
I can take it.
One thing before we go, somebody who done lost their mind, Bruce Pearl. Should we save it for another time?
Yeah, we gotta say that.
Okay.
We gotta say that because there's a lot of context and stuff
for
going
sure.
in that. Yeah. So, all right. So
next week
we'll go.
Bruce Pearl.
Do you want to go Sunday night game or Monday night game?
Sunday night, the big one, huh?
Yeah.
Cowboys.
So who
Green
you
Bay?
got? Who you got?
Is CeeDee Lamb playing?
No.
Green Bay.
Yeah. See, the funny thing is, I'm so tempted to pick Green Bay, but knowing that when you're an overall favorite and nobody wants to
Where
pick
they playing at?
They're playing at Dallas.
Ooh.
That Dallas could probably come back and win this game. But I'm going to go with Green Bay. See, people were saying Green Bay in a blowout.
It's not going to be a blowout.
And
it's not gonna be a blowout.
I could see it being a blowout,
No,
but I think Dallas's pride,
not gonna be a
they're going to
blowout.
come together with some stuff, at least for a half, maybe 3/4. I can't see Dallas having enough because the Green Bay's defense. And I think because Green Bay lost the game they should have won against Cleveland.
They played bad.
Yeah, I think I don't think they're going to have a lot of trouble scoring. I think they're going to really, really make a concerted effort to punish that.
Can Dallas mimic the Browns' game plan?
No, they don't have because that was a defense. The Browns are said to probably have maybe a championship level defense.
Yeah, for sure.
So I don't think they're going to be able to do that. So who you got? You got the Packers.
You know what? Jordan Love has not been playing well. I'm gonna take the Packers.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Packers too, and hopefully we didn't lose our damn minds again, picking the Packers over the Cowboys.
That was bad, y'all. I'm sorry.
I just think it's gonna probably be a little bit better than what everybody feels.
It's gonna be competitive.
I think it's gonna be because they've been able to move the ball. Now, Cowboys haven't played. They haven't played when they played a pretty good defense in Chicago. Defense was okay.
Yeah,
they didn't really put up a lot of points, right? Yeah. The Giants they did. Who they played their first game? Philly. So when they played against really good defenses,
they played well against Philly, man.
Yeah, they played well, but I mean, Jalen Carter gets kicked out before the game starts. That changes everything. Yeah. So, all right, well, we're gonna get off this show. We're going to end. So make sure you like, subscribe, follow, comment. Let us know what you think about all things said here. We're out there. More content coming out. We're pushing everything. So let us know what you think. You ain't rocking with us, it's okay to say that. Just keep it respectful. Because I got a guy who knows IP addresses, and I can come find where you at.
Yeah, exactly. We will find you. For sure.
All right, so with all of that said, we're going to end it like we always do. If it was easy, everyone would be doing it. We out.
Peace.
Street cred sports, say it with your chest. Yeah. Go get it from the net. Street cred sports, okay.